So in this video, we're going to be talking about pipe flaring. So before we do the demonstration, why do we do pipe flaring?
So pipe flaring is basically a way of connecting your copper to your AC unit, indoor or outdoor, using a compression.
Is this the only way? Is this the only method?
So this is going to be your most common type of method for outdoor units, indoor units. The only thing you will come across sometimes is on bigger commercial stuff, you'll get brazed connections.
But in domestic, a majority of the time got an AC unit. Right, so I can see lots of stuff. Let's go for it.
So, right, what we've got is a flaring block. So you have two parts to it. So this is sort of like your pipe clamp. Your pipe will go in there, and then you've got a flare nut, which is on the unit. We'll take that off.
This is your standard air conditioning unit that will be...
Yep. So when you're coming across, like, say you're putting in a new unit, you're going to get the flare nut that's already on that unit. Yeah.
Right.
So cool. That's the flare nut that goes on the unit.
Yeah.
Your flaring block. Yeah. And you've got a couple of spanners, and we'll talk through that.
Okay, so we've done the pipe prep.
Yep.
The deburring and everything else. That's on the previous video.
Yep.
So the pipe's prepped.
Pipe's prepped. It's also lagged.
Okay.
Everything's done. So we take our flaring block.
Yeah.
We put that in, and then on this flaring block, on most other flaring blocks, you're going to have some pipe sizes on there. So what we've got here is we've got a bit of 3/8 pipe, so that goes into the 3/8 block, and then there's a little sliding pipe gauge on there as well.
Yep. Okay.
Which is really good. It's really handy. So that just makes sure you're not doing a flare that's too big or too small.
So it basically determines the depth.
It's very important, that depth, because if it's too big,
So that slides across. You do know if it's too.
you know what? Made a mistake.
Why?
This is the most problem. This is the common problem you're going to come across.
Because you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You haven't put your nut on.
Got to put your nut on first. It's the most common problem that everyone's going to make here first. The nut. So right, we've got that.
I'm glad that you did that on purpose, though, right?
Yes,
Fair play.
of course. So we've got our pipe. Yeah, side flaring block.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's flush. And then we line that up. So you'll see inside.
Yeah. Okay.
So that you will tighten that down. So that clamps the pipe inside the block. I don't know whether the camera can see that, but so that's inside the block, and then you spin that handle, and you see how it's creating sort of like a cone, which is like off axis.
Yeah.
So when that goes down,
Yeah.
you'll see it start to go like a trumpet. So
It's a bit like swaging,
a bit like swaging.
but at the moment, this is flaring.
This is flaring, yeah. It's just a different way of connecting.
Yeah.
So that will go all the way down until you've got a click.
Right.
So that will tell you on some flaring blocks the torque phase. So again, you can over tighten and under tighten the flare.
There's a preset
Clutch inside this particular flaring block.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So these, if you can get a hold of one with a clutch on it, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Bit more bulletproof. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So we take that all the way out, undo our block, and there you have
You trumpet.
we'll chomp it. So yeah, now we're all clean in the middle, trumpet.
And that's why you put the nut on first.
That's why you put the nut on first.
Stuck in after.
Exactly that. So we've all been there.
So there's your trumpet there. We should just use them and see the nut can come off.
Right, and that's what acts as your compression. That face is what is going to be your compression. We can go round, and we're going to have a little bow of connecting up.
Off we go.
Right, so we've got an old demo unit here, just something to...
And they always the same sizes?
They're all different sizes. So this is a small unit, so this is 3/8 1/4.
So obviously a bigger unit, a bigger pipe.
Yeah, so when you step up to sort of 5 kilowatts, it will go 1/2 inch quarter, and it will keep going up in different sizes. So, but just for what we've got here, so we've got a bit of 3/8 pipe, which we've done our flare. A little tip is to put basically a little bit of vacuum pump oil or something just to just to make a better surface for that face.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, flare nut oil on, vacuum pump oil on, and then you tighten your nut on.
So you're doing that by hand, obviously?
Yeah, just doing that by hand for now. So then if you've got your pipe work that's coming down the wall and entering your unit,
Yeah.
and then what you can do, which is what I suggest, is to have a torque wrench.
So, not seen one of these before. Talk me through.
So
I know what that is.
Yep, so that's adjustable spanner and a torque wrench. So each manufacturer, each size of pipe, they're all going to have an individual torque setting. So how tight to do the nut without crushing it or leaving it too loose.
Yeah.
So it's just basically the perfect setting.
So too loose means it might fall off. And
Too loose means you get a leak.
and too much.
Too tight means you're going to crush the flare, which will also cause a leak.
Okay.
So
I understand.
And I think the most common thing you're going to come across is people over tightening stuff.
Because they think the harder you tighten it,
The harder you tighten it, the less it's going to leak. But actually, with copper, it ends up just
it's
crushing
the metal.
exactly that.
Okay.
So with our adjustables, we just get our adjustables on for a little bit of leverage, and then we'll put and then you'll hear pipes go ground at the minute because it's not connected, but you'll start hearing a beep. So that's when you're getting close, and that's the perfect torque when you've got a solid beep. And that's your torque setting.
And this is adjustable depending on what size.
Yeah, so this is all adjustable depending on what the manufacturer's specifications are.
Oh, nice.
But again, it's going to be the same with the outdoor units and the indoor units. Any sort of valves you've got to replace, because there's actually components that are flared, like filter dryers and all different stuff.
So if you don't flare, that nut's just going to fall off, and the pipe work's just not going to just pull out.
Basically, there's no way of, in this example, there is no way of connecting that without a flaring kit.
Okay, so there you go, guys. That is how you flare and connect to an AC unit.
It is.